So in this video, we are going to use Crayola markers to paint. And if you're not in your seats, I'm going to ask you to stop what you're doing and go do that. Get to your seats. Thank you. Some people knew this, but this is actually something I learned not that long ago. And it's kind of a realization for me as an art teacher. But these are water-based markers. All right, water-based markers. That means that if we use water, we can move it around. If we get it on our fingers, we can use water to clean it up. And again, it's pretty cool because I can use it to paint. And I'm going to, remember the boxes we did on the worksheet? We wanted to make a light, medium, dark side. Well, I'm going to do the same thing. I can do it with paint, or I can actually use marker. And so I'm putting just a little bit more than a line down right here. And these are pretty strong, so it really doesn't take a lot. And I can also put more on if I need to. So I put just a little bit of an area here. I'm going to dampen my paintbrush. I don't want it like dripping as I light it, bring it across, because I want to control this a little bit. But you can see my paintbrush is shiny. All right, that tells me I've got water in it. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on my paper, and notice what happens. It's just like watercolor now. And I actually have too much water on my paintbrush, so I'm gonna, as I've got it liquid now, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit out of my paintbrush, and I'm gonna just drag this over, just like I would do if I was painting. Now you're gonna say, well, why would I use marker? Why can't I just use paint? Some people do prefer the paint over the marker. But one of the things I noticed is as I'm working through little areas like these buildings that are kind of small, the marker gives me a little more control. Okay, so there is some benefit on that end. Now, this is kind of a light to a medium area. So I'm going to go ahead and do the top of it. Now, normally would I paint the top of this with just painting this one side? No. Because it's wet, and you don't necessarily want to put wet by wet, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now I want the top to be just a little darker, so I'm going to go ahead and fill in just a little bit more. I'm going to get my paintbrush wet again, just enough to move that marker around. I want the top of my building to be darker than the side that I just did. So I don't know, what do you think? Is that darker? Okay. I'm also going to keep some of this paint in my paintbrush and paint this side. I want this to be pretty light. I'm going to turn my paper as needed. And I'm going to paint this side. So it reminds me a lot of the worksheet that we did yesterday, where I have a light, a medium, and a dark side. A light, medium, and a dark side. So whatever color you guys choose to do, because remember, this is a surreal city, so play with a color that you say, normally buildings aren't red, but I'm going to go ahead and try it. And I would like you to do this front building with a light, a medium, and a dark top. Okay, we're not flooding our paper. We have very much control over how much water is in our paintbrush. So even though we're painting 3 sides right beside each other, we should be able to do it. You may go ahead and begin.